predominantly takes place at this level in here. So we're trading just directly above the breaker structure point. I would like Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome one and all to the Markets Now session today on the 18th of September. Hope you're all doing well out there, team. So what we're going to do is we're going to break down the US indices, we're going to break down energies, we're going to break down metals, and we're going to call it a day from there. This week has been absolutely phenomenal, though. Just on the case of a recap from last night's FOMC event. So thanks to the individuals who did manage to make the event. I don't blame anyone else for not making it. As I said before the event took place, it is a really awkward time for a lot of people, even myself included in that. So I do understand not being able to attend it, but it was actually really good. It was everything that I kind of hoped it would be. It was really quite engaging. The press conference itself was quite informative. I didn't feel like it was a waste of time afterwards. I came away feeling like I'd really sort of I definitely gained some, I definitely gained a few bits and pieces that I didn't initially know or have a better understanding of from Jerome Powell and what the monetary policy cycle over the course of the next, let's say, 3 years is going to, ultimately look like. So it's really good to have that now down and get a good understanding about that, as well as, being able to price it in terms of the ETFs and the equities that I currently hold as well. Obviously, I know everyone's in a different situation, got their own individual situation with what they're doing in the markets and stuff. And I know predominantly we focus on CFDs here, but equities, they do hold a very special place in my heart. Obviously, the market report has arguably more equity option picks than CFD picks at this rate. So, yeah, I think yeah. Well, it's definitely time to get interested in that if you're not already. It certainly is. So last night we did get the 25 basis point cut. The markets did indeed get a bit of a shockwave sent around as a result of it. The DXY, really surprisingly on this front, I think it's the most significant surprise of the evening. Currently trading at 97.20 after the fallout from the Fed event. So they cut 25 basis point. The dollar rises. We actually had a big correction. We dropped down initially to 96.20, big correction, and ended the day at 97.08, and then rallied again today to 97.30, which is the daily high. So very surprising there to see the dollar in a bit of a bull run as a result of yesterday's Fed event. It did end on more positive terms, but the real sort of centerpiece of the event itself, it was pretty dovish. There was not a lot of hawkish sentiment coming from the Fed chair, and from what I could understand, from any of his colleagues as well on the board. So very interesting situation the Fed find themselves in, of course. On top of that, we have the tariff situation, which is causing a lot of strain. And I think we can all agree that Fed Chair Powell is certainly seemingly tired out from having to manage this new complex situation that he finds himself in with the current White House administration. Now, that's that. Let's compartmentalize here. So that's that. Now, in terms of trading opportunities last night, we did really, really well. We did the US 30 Dow. We did 2 wins in that. We did a win in the NAS 100 after a loss. And we also shot up straight to our target profit in gold as well. So over the course of the evening, we netted, if we include the gold in that, we netted over 1.5% net return as a result of last night's FOMC. And that ladies and gents, brings us to a Grand Slam total this week so far. And we still have this afternoon's US Open to go. Bear with me one momento. I think we're about 5% net this week so far. So it's been a very, very strong week trading. And apart from the NAS loss, we've been on one hell of a bull run as well with our win streaks. Let's go down here and have a look. So actually, beg your pardon, we're on 6.02% this week, weekly return. So phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal, considering many of these trades were based on 0.2% risk. Everything else based on 0.25, as we always do, professional fund level risk management. It's absolutely phenomenal. It really is. I mean, I'm just going back here. So Monday was the 15th this week, I believe. Yes, it is. So Monday was the 15th. Let me send this in to you just to have a quick scan. I like to do this tomorrow morning, really. That tomorrow mornings are usually the recap session where we have a bit of a reflection period. But I'm just feeling it at the moment. It's just looking great. So before we take any losses this afternoon, let's all have a good look at what we've done this week, what we've managed to achieve. So this week we have had wins across all the asset classes. We started out with NAS, US 30 Dow Jones, the German 40 index, followed up with more NAS, NZD USD, which was a absolute pounding trade, 0.81% trade. That's the biggest one of the week, that one, in the Forex market. We took a loss on the USD yen, but then we took wins in we took a loss in the USD yen, but then we took a win in gold, 2 Dow trades, a loss in the NAS, a win in the NAS, and the win in the NZD CAD as well, which was our last FX portfolio trade that was left at market yesterday afternoon at 1:30. We covered that. So if you're a bit hazy on that one, please go back and get that stream on catch up. That was the last trade that we had in from the previous day. So that was from Tuesday. And that ended up coming in at a 0.66%. Beautiful 2.7 trade, that one. So really nice. It's just been absolutely fire this week. So in total, I mean, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 trades. And we've had 1, 2, and we've had 2 losses. 10 wins and 2 losses. How is that for a risk reward, eh? So very good. Feeling it at the moment. Feeling it. So that's where we are. So like I say, that being said, we'll get to it in the metals, the energies, the US indices today. No more FX this week. Going to take a step back. Had a couple of really nice wins. There's no reason to look at the FX market personally. I'm done with it this week. So yeah, happy to just focus on the 3 asset classes. So let's have a look then. So metals first of all. Gold yesterday, we had our move up to our target profit, which was up here. And no, it wasn't. Yes, it was. I do beg your pardon. Yeah, that was the winning strike. So you can see that was the 1 minute time frame is what confused me. So it was that candlestick there that took us to TP. And then we did have the subsequent fallout, which was gold coming all the way back down to the lows here at 36.46. We're currently it's actually moved a hell of a lot since then, since last night. So not even 24 hours. And we've had some pretty sizable moves in the gold commodity. But if we look at where we are at the moment, how can we do this? Let's drag a zone. No, that's not gonna cut it because I want to get those lows. That looks a bit messy. That looks a bit messy. Let's tidy this up. Let's look at the 15-minute time frame. So ultimately, that's what we want. The 1, 2, 3. Markets have been coiling around this. I'm gonna give gold a bit of an easy time here because of the FOMC event. We've got some consolidation going on here at the moment. The break of structure for this predominantly takes place at this level in here. So we're trading just directly above the breaker structure point. I would like to think that we have one more run in gold to go, but I'm not unfortunately comfortable taking the long from where it is at the moment. So I would want price to come back down into the cash rich area here at 36.56 before getting the rally back to 36.84. So this would be where I would want to see price first before the order is placed. And then I'd be looking at the long, the target, and the entry, which, the stop loss, which would be at about 36.60-ish for a 1 to 2.7. So a hell of a risk reward on that trade. But this is absolutely necessary, okay? We need to see this hit first, then we can get in for the long. So that's going to be the confirmed gold trade. Now, of course, I'm going to be back on first thing tomorrow morning, about 9:15 a.m. And from that stage, I will take a view probably at midday tomorrow. If the trade hasn't triggered, I will probably remove it. Just, if you recall, last Friday was actually a complete headache. And we took on maybe 1.2 to 1.5% in losses. And I don't want to repeat the same again this week of fading the Friday. It's something that I always talk about, usually something I always stick to, but last week, for whatever reason, I didn't, and it did come back to bite me. So I don't want to do that. We've had such a strong week this week. I want to keep it going. So trading opportunity in gold, long, entry, target, stop loss. This is an absolutely necessary parameter before the trade takes place. And I believe I already got downloaded that, so we can move on. So that's going to be gold. In terms of silver, it might be nice to set up a contrarian view. We've taken the long opportunity, or we haven't taken it, but we've got the long opportunity in the pipeline. So it might be nice to consider a short in silver at the same time so that we can get in something on the other side if the market decides to sell off rather than rally. We've got actually a really nice breaker structure point in here as well. This is, I would say, this is nicer than gold. Actually, looking at the setup at the moment here, some really well-established highs and lows. Makes perfect sense. The breaker structure point in here is well established, really nice as well. We've got a superb success rate. In fact, if we take the high to the low and use this as our breaker structure, it's 100% so far. 100. So looking really good. Let's build in a short. Entry going to be there. Target profit down at 41.21. Stop loss is going to be up at the high of the margin for another 1 to 2.77, just similar to gold. And that's going to be our short there. We do have this point of liquidity. That needs to be thinned up. That is going to be running right through there. Now, okay, this is in relatively recent history, first couple of weeks of September. I am not going to worry about my trade idea as a result of this point of liquidity in here. And I'm going to compartmentalize my charts, liking that word today, apparently. But we're going to split that one, okay? So that one's on that side of this line. This is on this side of this line. It's the next cycle. So what we're looking at now is the range. We've seen the confirmation. It's well established. We've got lows 1, 2, and 3. This is quite nice up here as well. Even against the FOMC volatility that we had, we still respected these levels very well. What I am going to do is actually place a TRF line. Okay, yes, okay, this is just a horizontal ray. But for us, this visually represents a TRF. It's a technical risk factor. And we're going to have that in there. The market's got a great margin to move before we reach that TRF. I'm also going to apply an alarm on top of it. And if the alarm triggers, I'm just going to take a flashback to it, look at what the market's doing. I may end up deciding to cut this one early, or we simply let it run. But it will require just a little bit of management. But ultimately, looking really good. Right, energy markets. Let's check it out. So natural gas hasn't been a major player for us this week. It did match our weekly analysis report. Target down here at 286. We actually reached a low of 283, so that was great. But it didn't come without a trading opportunity. It was purely for analysis perspective this week, apparently, as I just couldn't find a line on it. It was so choppy. It's just been struggling to find a line on natural gas at the moment. So that is what it is. There's not going to be anything that I want to do today anyway. And so therefore tomorrow either. Looking at UK Brent, This one this week was our energy pick of the week. Actually, this was this week's energy pick of the week, wasn't it? So we've come down and we've started a rally. So this was on the this was just yesterday. So we started off the week, and where was that? We started off the week there, didn't we? No, we didn't. Where did we start the bloody week? There. Down there. So we started the week here at 67.20. Ah, well, actually, I'm going to take back everything I've just said. That's not done bloody anything. No. Right. UK Brent has not done anything at all. That's disappointing. I was thinking it had legs for a moment, but actually, based on how much it's moved so far, probably not. No, that's going to be a no from me, guys. Yeah, that's going to be a no from me. The margins aren't there. We've also got a break close and a retest. Failed once, failed twice. It doesn't seem to be that confidence inspiring. So I'm going to give the energy markets a miss as for today. And so we move into the indices. Now, we are still going to be trading somewhat in the fallout cycle from yesterday's FOMC price action. In terms of where the NAS 100 is trading at the moment, obviously we're up there 24.48 currently. Really a crazy rally that we've seen after the FOMC. We've got this point of liquidity in here. It certainly looks like it's going to be a decent area to target for a short, as I think the markets today will be shorter than longer. So I'm going to put my name, I'm going to slap my name on the bias of a short, and I'm going to look at the short taking place between 24.46 and 24.406. The stop loss on this one's going to be slightly wider given the size of the point of liquidity that I'm using above. Let's bring that stop to about here, and we're going to look for a very humble 1 to 2.2. That's going to be the NAS short. As for the Dow Jones, yeah, Dow Jones is actually a bit tricky. So that's going to be, so that'll be that, won't it? Yeah. Or will it? Yeah, that just needs to sit there, and that is that. So we're already coming down, and we're already coming down in the Dow. So we've got some proposed margin. We got some margin of availability for a long. I suppose we've got the short in the NAS. We can get the long in the Dow, so we could have the long in here. I think that's quite decent. We're probably looking at a 1 to 2. Yeah, 1 to 2.1. 1 to 2.1 long in the Dow Jones. It would be quite nice as well if the market could come down to this area first, in here before that takes place. There is, if the market goes, if it blows through this level at 46.10, there's one hell of a margin for the short down there as well. I really don't see that happening today. I really don't see that happening today. I think I'm more psychologically at the moment of the feeling that I should take my foot off the gas a little bit after doing 6% this week in the space of 3 days. Afford it. We're on Thursday today. 3 days. 3 days. Yeah. So yeah, I think we're going to go on the long on the DAS, on the US 30 Dow, sorry, and we're going to go for the short in the NAS 100, and we're going to leave it at that. That's what I'm going to go for, and be happy about it. And of course, we got the calls in gold as well for that potential long, so long as we can get the move down into liquidity first. So yeah, not bad, not bad. So we've got long in the Dow, we've got a short in the NAS 100, we've got nothing going on in the energy markets, we got a long in gold, and we have a short on the other side, contrarian view trade idea in silver. Can't remember if I got an image of silver. Let's have a look. Gold, silver, and then download and download. There we go. Right, team. I'm going to wrap things up there then. It's just coming up to 2 o'clock in the PM. We've got about 35 minutes to go before the US bell rings, which means you guys got plenty of time to get done what you need to get done. Beforehand, we've got trading opportunities in the pipeline: Dow Jones, NAS 100, gold, and silver. We are avoiding the FX space in the energy markets for probably the remainder of the week. I'm not going to say absolutely nothing tomorrow, but probably the remainder of the week. So we'll see how we fare today. And yeah, I suppose that's about it. Have you got any questions, team? If not, then that's no problem at all. Yeah, fine. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to wish you a wonderful afternoon then. Take care of yourselves out there. Have a fantastic day. Hope the trading goes well. Let me know how it goes. I will ping out opportunities as and when they come through, or send up heads ups when possible. And yeah, I'll catch up soon. So take care, guys, and I'll see you then. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.